What if the only thing standing between you and your next breakthrough was your willingness to feel? Welcome to the Journey Unscripted, a space where human stories unfold from the inside out. I am Amanda Andrade, the founder of Mastering Relationships Academy, Amanda Andrade Hypnotherapy, and author of If You Allow It, You Can Feel It. Here, we explore the raw, emotional truth behind life's transitions, the moments that shake us, shape us, and set us free. Whether you are navigating change, seeking deeper meaning, or simply reconnecting with yourself, this podcast is your invitation to pause, feel, and reconnect. Because when we allow the truth to rise, we open the door to healing, freedom, and we create it from a place of power, presence, and purpose. This is your permission to feel it all and let the journey be unscripted. Today's journey, I'm here with Nathan Crane. He is an internationally recognized holistic health expert, best-selling author, an award-winning filmmaker and meditation teacher with nearly 2 decades of immersive study under masteries from diverse wisdom traditions, including yoga, Buddhism, trauma healing, nervous system regulation, hypnotherapy, energy healing, and meditation. He brings a fresh and dynamic approach to help people awaken to their higher selves to experience greater clarity, health, and purpose in life. He has founded multiple successful organizations that have impacted millions and currently volunteers with the Art of Living Foundation and the Belgian King Foundation, supporting global efforts in natural healing and emotional resilience. Through his YouTube channel, Meditation with Nathan, he shares divinely inspired activation meditations, helping people connect to inner wisdom and spiritual guidance. Thank you and welcome, Nathan. Thank you for being here with us.
Amanda, thanks for having me. Thank you for this beautiful podcast. Very happy to be here with you.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm really grateful for what we are co-creating in here. And the beauty part of your journey that I am seeking and looking forward to here, it is really your journey. What make you be where you are at? What was your inspiration? Could you share that with us?
Hmm. Yeah, I've talked a lot about it over the years, and there's a really long version and a very short version, and I'm actually for the first time putting a lot of those stories into a new book that's going to be coming out later this year. And because I look back at my previous life and it still doesn't even seem real sometimes. It's like so many other things that I went through, and people who know me now and didn't know me back then are like, how is that even possible? It doesn't even make sense. And it's like, because I've died to the person who I was and have become somebody completely different multiple times over the last 20 plus years. Um, the really, really short version, because I'd love to get into some things that we can talk about that can really help people as well. But in my teenage years, I was struggling a lot. I was struggling with depression, anxiety, a lot of fear. I ended up homeless. I ended up struggling with addiction, alcohol, drugs, cigarettes. Nearly dead at 17 years old. And I had no idea what was going to happen and where I was going to go and what I was going to do. And I even wanted to end my own life. I even tried, actually, when I was around 16, 17. Unsuccessfully, thankfully. I'm still here today, right? Woo! Unsuccessfully.
For not being here with us talking about that, huh?
Yeah, I've had some failures in life, and that was one failure that I'm grateful for. Actually, I'm grateful for all failures because they teach you something. And when you use your biggest failures in your life to teach you, sometimes they can be the greatest teachers. If you don't look at them as failures and you say, you know what, this was exactly what needed to happen, when it needed to happen, and it gave me the tools and education and resources and awareness to be able to make the changes I needed to make to become the person I am today. When you look at all those failures and challenges you go through as a teaching opportunity, a stepping stone to a higher version of yourself, then life becomes this beautiful game that you play that continuously grows in joy and awareness and love, versus this constant battle that people feel, which is the world's against me, the universe is against me, God is against me, why is everything a test and it's all a burden? And in fact, it all comes down to how we look at life. It all comes down to the viewfinder in which we look through these eyes at what's happening around us. And we know this, and I know this in working with cancer patients for the last 13 years or so, is that the cancer patients who didn't even overcome cancer, but they're the happiest they've ever been in their life, and they're getting healthier and feeling better. And they tell me that cancer was the greatest thing that ever happened to them. And then the cancer patients say, cancer is the worst thing that ever happened to me. I'm miserable. I'm terrible. I'm unhappy. This is terrible. It's all mindset, because I ask them when I've coached many of these clients, and I say, why is this the worst thing that's ever happened to you? Oh, it's drained my bank account. It's been painful. I've lost friends and family. It's terrible. Okay, I can have compassion for that. Understandable. But somebody with the same cancer, same circumstances, same situation, same thing, they lost all of that as well. But they say it's the greatest thing that ever happened to them. And I say, why? They say, because it made me realize what's important in my life. It made me start caring for my health. It made me drop the things that were causing me so much stress and problems in my life, and get out of that dysfunctional relationship, or truly start loving and caring for myself, deepen my spiritual connection, deepen my spiritual journey. It made me in touch with who I really am inside. And what is that? Same situation, similar circumstances, same diagnosis, completely different outcomes in how the people feel and how happy they are in their life. Because let's face it, everybody's searching for some level of happiness, right? We're all searching for peace and happiness. The problem is we're usually searching for it somewhere other than where it actually is.
Absolutely.
And so learning to search where happiness actually resides, then our whole life changes. And so I was searching for happiness in all the wrong places, like most people, and searching for it in relationships and sex and food and sugar and caffeine and alcohol and drugs and fame and publicity and money and business and blah, 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 blah. All the things people chase every day thinking it's going to give them happiness, but it never does. It's like they think they're filling up their tank with gas, but there's a siphon in the back. Every time they fill it up with gas, this gas just pours out in the backside, because none of those things can bring true happiness. And I learned this when I moved to San Diego. I started my life over. I was 18. I decided to get healthy and to learn about meditation and spirituality and to learn what it means to be healthy. And so I started studying with different masters, Buddhist masters. I had a great mentor come into my life at that time, and started meditating and practicing yoga and going to the gym and eating healthier and all these different things. And I still went through quite a bit of struggle. I made some good money really young, and then I lost it all. And then I kind of still struggle with alcohol and things like that off and on. And then I started going really deep into my spiritual path. And this was when I was like 19, 20, 21. And I ended up homeless again. I had no money for gas for my car. I had to take the train down to San Diego to sell T-shirts for a nonprofit on the side of the street, and I was making barely enough money for my train ticket. and I would go back, and I had to stay at my ex-girlfriend's house on her living room floor. And she had a boyfriend, and he was not the best guy in the world. It was not the best part of town. There were gangbangers that would talk about shooting people, under the windows at night, and the cat would come and pee on my bed because it was territorial. He didn't like another male figure in the house. And so you can look at my life then and think, wow, this is like the worst life ever. No money, no gas, no food, sleeping on, what a terrible guy, sleeping on his ex-girlfriend's living room floor, getting peed on by a cat and gangbangers, keeping him up at night. And it's like terrible life. And you know what? I was already deep into spiritual practices and meditation and self-discovery. And I was sitting there in my car one day. Remember, no gas, no money for gas. So just sitting in my car on the side of the road. I wasn't going anywhere.
Mhm. No gas.
No gas. And I remember asking God, God, why? Why am I going through this again? I was homeless when I was a teenager. Here I am. I was doing well. And now that I'm on a deep spiritual path, I'm homeless again. I'm trying to do the right things and be honest and do all these good things and take care of others. Why am I going through this again? And the thought just downloaded into my mind, and it came as a voice, and it said, you first have to learn how to be happy with nothing so you can be happy when you have everything. And it just changed my whole perspective in a second. And I thought, I can do that. I can figure out how to be happy even in these circumstances. I can do that. How do I figure that out? And that set me on this journey and set me on this journey of discovery, is what causes true happiness and where does happiness come from, and why does this seem so elusive and something we're chasing outside of ourselves? And yet it's available and accessible to everybody, and it's not where we are looking. It's actually the opposite of where we have all been looking and where I was looking for so long. And so, yeah, that led me into just deeper self-exploration. And then later, years later, when I was doing well in business and then, had plenty of money to enjoy life and have many of the things that people chase after, I realized like none of that stuff brings me true happiness. I'm grateful for it. It gives me comforts. It gives some sense of freedom, not true freedom, but a sense of freedom. But there's still no real happiness in that. And so that foundation stuck with me, was when you can be happy with nothing, then you can truly be happy with everything. One of my early mentors, Arturo Gaitan, he said, money just makes things bigger. That's it. It makes things bigger. And so, if you're an asshole, it's going to make you a bigger asshole.
It's not
Right?
amplify.
Amplify. Yeah, because you think all right, you're an angry person. You're not very kind. You're not very generous. You get pissed off easily. You're kind of an asshole to people. You think all of a sudden you get $1 million and you're going to be the happiest, most kind, generous person in the world? No, it's going to amplify all those things you already are. It's going to make those things bigger. And the same is true, and this is what I found in my own life. The more kind and compassionate and generous and caring that I've become, even when I had nothing and was starting to acquire some things, the more money that came into life, the more I could give, the more I could donate, the more I could share. The busier I got, I found actually I started donating more of my time, not only my money, but my time and volunteering. And this is what people think, oh, when I have the money and I have time freedom, then I'll volunteer. When I have the money and then I'm financially free, then I'll donate. And that is the absolute wrong thinking, because you're telling God, you're telling the universe, I don't have any of these things, and so I can't do anything with it that I want to. And so what do you think the universe is going to do? It's going to keep giving you more of those things that you don't have. And then you think all of a sudden you're going to magically become financially successful, and then you're going to donate and share and give. Trust me, it doesn't work that way. You have to start thinking that way now. And that's what I did. I started by doing things like taking a certain percentage of every dollar that came in and donating that every month to a nonprofit. And some months that was $1, some months that was a few dollars or $100 or $50 or $20, whatever. But I started the habit. That's the key, and the intention and the action. And then you start to create this attraction in the universe saying, hey, here's who I am, here's what I do. And I really believe that when you take action like that, out of generosity, out of caring, then God says, hey, you're being a good steward. Let me give you more to manage. Let me give you more to be a steward of. And then abundance starts coming into your life. And that doesn't always have to be money. That can be support. It can be friendships. It can be good relationships, right? If you find yourself, and this is what I did, showing up for other people. How can I serve people in my space? Not the old, social media platform. How can I serve people in my health space, the health and wellness and spiritual space I've been in for a long time. And so what I do, I can start interviewing them and creating podcasts just like you're doing, and summits and documentaries and things, and grow an email list and social media and all these things. And then I can share their message with others. And so I can help others to amplify the good knowledge and wisdom and experience they have to help others. And so you find ways to serve others in different creative ways. And then guess what? More people, more things, more situations come to show up for you when you need it, when you want it. But most people come to this world thinking, how much can I get? How much can I take? How much can I acquire? Right? Gurudev, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, my spiritual teacher, he says, on the spiritual path, we have to change our mindset from how much can I take to how much can I give. We are not here to take. If we did, we would be able to take a chest full of gold with us when we die, but we can't. We take nothing when we die. We come here naked, we leave naked. You have nothing to take with you. So why accumulate and acquire your whole life? It means nothing at the end of your life. So we come here to give. How much did you give when you end your life, when you're at the end of your life and you leave your body and you go to heaven or wherever you go and you talk to the divine or God, or you're in the next life or the next chapter? Do you think the divine is going to sit there and ask you and go, how much did you acquire in your life? That's what we're looking for, right? How much gold, how much money, how much fame, how many social media followers, how many likes, blah, 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 did you acquire, right? That's going to tell you how well you did. And you're like, no. The divine's going to look at you and go, how much did you give? How much did you serve? Did you do it from your heart? Did you do as much as you possibly could? And then you're going to sit there and go, you don't want to be in that situation going, man, I wish I did more. I should have done more. No, do more now. We all can do more now. And you do what you can. You do what you can. Doesn't mean give up everything and just start giving everything you have right away, and go and end up a beggar on the street. But it means doing something a little bit every day towards helping others, towards giving, towards being generous. And then let's say you do end up with a lot of money and you're already generous. It's just going to make you more generous. It's going to allow you to help more people. Now I've been able to go to Africa and raise, tens of thousands. I think we've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to Kenya and bring seeds and tools to help plant food for the starving tribes up there. And I'm be doing humanitarian relief work in India later this year, next year. And I've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for different causes, for cancer charities that are doing real work in cancer education, cancer healing. I donated a lot of time and money for the Beljansky Foundation and raised a lot of money there for natural cancer research. And I'm only sharing this because it took a mindset shift in myself. When I started my company and I had no money and we were making nothing, I could barely pay the bills, I had the same thought. One day, I am going to donate. I'm going to serve. I'm going to support. But first, I got to take care of me. I got to pay my bills. I got to make enough money. That was the wrong mindset when I realized, no, I need to take a percent, even if it's 1%, but I need to take something every month and start giving that to charity, to your church, to your nonprofit that you work with, to your spiritual organization, whatever it is, but start with something and be consistent. And if you absolutely cannot do money, then give time, service, give value in other ways, because the person it makes you, who you become, will astound you and inspire the people around you. And so we have to make that decision now. And that's what I did over the years. I mean, the short of it is, over the last 20 years, it's been a journey for me. It's been a journey of ups and downs, but continue climbing. And I mean climbing, letting go of past beliefs, letting go of limiting beliefs, self-sabotaging beliefs, understanding more of who I am, finding more ways to serve and be generous and help others, and discovering where true happiness really comes from. And I can tell you, it's not in the material world. It's not there. You keep looking all you want. You're not going to find it. You got to dig inside. You're not going to find it outside. And yeah, here we are.
Yeah, and that's beautiful. And thank you so much for your willingness to be vulnerable, to share your strength with all of us, because it's really coming from the heart space. Because you use your past, your background story to give you a strength. And I got a few words which I would like just to share that with you. Whenever you mention about perception, right? What is the perception about reality? Well, what is reality? We have perception and then we have reality. But I typically say, this is my reality whenever I look outward. No, that's when you mention about it. People look for happiness, not people, we all. And I used to do that a lot, right? Look for the outward. It is in there. And because society taught us how to be happy, and happiness is something that is not sustainable because you are keep chasing happiness. And whenever we shift the perception inward and we are just standing up for that inner wisdom and we make a choice for that, as you did it a choice in your journey. And I would like to ask you, when was the moment that you make the choice of it? I'm gonna change my perception. In your early years, I'm gonna be doing this. What was the why? You already shared that you were involved with alcoholism and drugs and food and all of the illusion things that the human experience through the desires, right? What was it the moment that you choose to change, and why?
I've had to change my perception about myself and about reality, about the world multiple times over my life so far. One of the earliest moments that I remember when I was really struggling and I was homeless and struggling with addiction, depression, and suicidal thoughts and things like that was I was sitting with Dennis and Martina Davis, who were a beautiful couple, family that took me in, my best friend's parents, while he was sent away at military school for getting in too much trouble. They took me in, and so I would stay with them a few nights a week. And the thing is, they were a very spiritual, loving family. They were vegetarian, they were philosophers, they meditated. And so every time I'd sit with Dennis, he would ask me questions and he'd start talking about our thoughts. And he'd talk to me about the law of attraction and talk to me about meditation and Buddhism, about Jesus. And I loved those conversations. I soaked them up. My soul was yearning for that deeper knowledge. I'm 17 years old. On one hand, I'm over here partying. I'm running around with gangbangers. I'm getting in trouble. I'm stealing. I'm living this really crooked, terrible life, completely lost. Massive ego. A lot of under the ego is so much self-doubt and insecurity, right? But masked with massive ego. And on the other hand, I'd go and spend a few days with him and I'd have these deep spiritual conversations, philosophical conversations, and it was nourishing. It would wake me up. And I had a moment when I was sitting with him where I just saw a potential future. I saw myself potentially in the future for the first time in my life up to that point of actually doing something good. I saw, whoa, I could live a different life than what I'm doing now. I thought this life that I was doing now, this was the life. That's the life I was chasing for, and I achieved it. That's what I saw on TV and on MTV and on shows and all that stuff. I was like, oh, the money, the drugs, the women, the cars, the power, the fame, the blah. I was like, that's happiness, right? And I achieved it, and it was not happiness. Illusion, an illusion. And so I had that awakening moment, and then I listened. Very soon after that, my best friend came back. We were getting into more trouble. And we drove to San Diego and started our lives over, playing guitar on the side of the street for $5 a day for bread and lettuce sandwiches. But we started over, and I was happier then with nothing than I'd been for years and years up to that point. And that was a big eye opener for me, was, wow, I can be happy just doing nothing, not chasing all this other stuff. And I'm so much happier. I'm sober. I'm feeling good. I have energy, I have clarity. It was just a big eye-opening moment for me. And, that was a big perception shift for me, was realizing, and this is a big takeaway for people, is realizing that if you're struggling in your life right now, in any area of your life, there is a deeper reason for it. There's a teaching there for you to learn from that, to extract from it, to make you a better person. And there is always something better. There's always hope. This is what we tell cancer patients, is there's no such thing as false hope. When you are thinking about, this life I'm going through sucks right now, there's got to be something better. If you can open and expand your mind and get out of the mind, even, and through meditation and through spiritual knowledge and breath work and deep, and yoga and deep spiritual practices, start to connect to yourself, to who you truly are, then you can get that inner guidance, that wisdom to guide you to what is actually better for you, what is a better path for you. And there's always something better for you. But far too often we get stuck. We get stuck in a rut and we think this is all it is. This is all I got. This is all I can do. Even I hear young people like 30s, 40s, 50s. I would even say people in the 50s are young. Is that young people saying, oh, I don't have enough skill or enough talent, or I'm getting old, or old dogs can't learn new tricks. Bullshit. Are you kidding me? I have friends in their 70s who are still learning new things. They're becoming artists. I have a good friend in her 70s who's now pursuing an acting career she's wanted to do for many, many years. And she's taking acting classes. And she says, I want to pursue this next chapter of my life. Or you're 20 or 30 or 40. It doesn't matter your age. It's how you look at your life and the world and realize there is something better. You have to know. But then we have to take action. If we just sit around playing video games, smoking weed all day, do you think things are going to get better? Or if you just go keep doing ayahuasca every weekend, you think your whole life's going to finally change? No, that's not where the answers are. The answers are not in microdosing friggin' mushrooms all day long or doing ayahuasca every single weekend. No, those things have a purpose and a place, very few and far between, in the right set and setting. But so many people and young people on a spiritual path are looking to all these, it's the same problem, looking to plant medicines and these things to solve all their problems. They cannot solve your problems. I'm sorry. They can open a window. This is what I learned about plant medicine, where it's very beautiful and powerful. They can open the window for you so you can peek through and you can see a possibility of something greater and beyond this Maya, this illusion, right? Starts to open your viewfinder so you can see a realm that's beyond just this physical, material, limited realm. But as soon as you're done, that window closes. And the only way to get into that reality is through deep spiritual practice, breathwork, meditation, all these different ways, going within, shedding these layers. That's the only way to actually get there. We cannot get there by continuing to take these plant medicines. They will only open the window, but you have to do the work. You have to face the darkness. You have to overcome the challenges to get through to the other side. And that's what I discovered. Actually, mushrooms kind of saved my life really early on. And then after I'd been meditating for years, and then I thought, you know what? I had some great experiences when I was younger. They really opened my eyes. Let me try them again. I tried them 2 more times over like 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even have close to any kind of like awareness, mind expanding experience like I used to have, and like I gotten through various spiritual practices and deep meditations. I get more deep awareness and insights and intuition and guidance through the spiritual practices than I ever have through any psychedelics. And again, They have a place, but we can't get dependent on them. We're looking for happiness even there, and it's not there. You're looking for it in money and fame and power and likes and social media and all these things, and it's not there. We have to go inside. We have to look inside ourselves and realize your nature is happiness. Your nature is peace, is contentment. Your nature is love. It's our nature, but it's been covered up by all these hurt feelings and pains and traumas and false beliefs. So we have all these layers of just garbage stacked on top of our nature. And the whole spiritual journey is removing those layers so we can get to the truth of who we really are. And one of my favorite practices that helps to remove those layers is something called sky breath or Sudarshan Kriya, which was downloaded, founded, discovered, taught by my spiritual teacher, Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. I do it every morning, and it is so powerful for nourishing the entire system, the energy body, the physical body, but connecting us deeper to who we truly are. It's a powerful spiritual breathwork practice, but it takes us into a deep state of meditation. It's those kinds of things that we need to look for and implement in our lives if we truly want to experience deeper happiness in our lives.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I love that you touch about plant medicine and psychedelics because I have experienced that through my own journey. And also, that's how I serve my clients through the integration whenever they have these access, right? I totally agree with you because it's a tool. Don't use that to escape of the reality that you are suffering because suffer comes from the thoughts. We are not our thoughts. We believe it that we are our thoughts because we were programmed. Nowadays, we have this instantly gratification. I want it now, I want it. The energy has been speeding so much. And with that come people just like, I wanted to get on my spiritual path. I wanted this, I wanted that, and I wanted this. And the wanted, it's the lack of having conscious decisions, right? And the conscious decisions come from the point of your inner connection, your intimacy with God within you. It's really that part that you connect with your core. And whenever I share those wisdoms with my clients and they ask me, oh, do you agree with me doing this? And then I say, why you wanted to do this? I would like to understand the reason. And for at the first, the reason is going to come from the ego state because the ego is just like going looking for this. And also we have so much on the media and marketing about plant medicine that is being very poorly the way that they are putting that. And so I'm having people around of me going, like you say, every week. They are not integrating their work because they have this big experience, like energetically.
You know how long it can take to fully integrate from a single plant medicine experience? You know how long I've seen it take to integrate for people? It can take years, years to fully integrate and awaken to that window that was just open for you. So people who go every weekend, every other month, like you said, they're not fully integrating and you're not even getting close to the benefits. And it just becomes another kind of addiction, semi-addiction for people, right? So if you do use that, make sure with the right people, right set and setting, you have the right intention and you're willing to do the work for years before, because what's the point? You think, oh, I'm just going to do this, it's going to solve all my problems. No, it's not going to solve your problem. It's going to bring your problems to the surface. And then when they come to the surface, you better have good tools to be able to understand them and shed them and go deeper. You know, a good guide, a good teacher, a good spiritual master in your life to help you go deeper. But what I found actually is most people don't need those plant medicines. Most people don't. I think they were created, I think they were designed on this planet because we've gotten so far away from the divine, we've gotten so far away from God, so far away from who we truly are, that they were like designed on the planet to open our eyes to say, this is what I've been missing. And then that's it. Then you get back on track and you go into meditation and prayer and spiritual practice, right? The problem is people think it's another, that is the solution, is to take the plant medicine, but it's not the solution. It ends up being a crutch for most people. It ends up being a crutch. And what people can obviously do whatever they want, but what I suggest is have a daily meditation practice. Add sky breath or Sudarshan Kriya into your practice. Add deeper spiritual practices into your daily life, and then see how your life continuously improves over time. And then the desire for those things, what I found, often goes away. What I found too is people who are like, yeah, I'm very spiritual and I meditate and I do yoga and da da da, but they keep going back for ayahuasca or the plant ceremonies. And then I ask them and they're like, oh, actually, I don't meditate every day. I do it once in a while. Or, yeah, I've been trying to, but I haven't been able to for the last 2 or 3 weeks. There's always like an excuse there. So I'm like make that your first go-to. And actually, it's a lot easy. It's a lot less challenging and painful, because those plant experiences can actually be very painful, right? And actually, what I see in people with the daily practice is that their growth is more stable. Their happiness comes out more stable in their life over time, instead of these big like boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? It gives you that fortification, that strength, that foundation to kind of keep going through those challenges. Because let's face it, we're all going to face challenges. They don't go away. We just get better at learning how to not only deal with them, but smile when they arise and go, okay, you're here. I accept you. What do I need to learn? What do I need to do? Show me the way, God. Let's do this thing. And it's just a different approach. And you see how easy you end up you start kind of selling through those things. The things that used to get you down don't get you down so much anymore. You kind of greet it with a smile, and everything tends to work out in the end anyway.
It's really shifting, right? Your reality whenever you accept to do the work, and whenever you accept to work through the illusion.
100%.
Like we just mentioned, everything is illusion. Your thoughts are illusion based in your childhood experiences. And once you are committed with the process, because it's about commitment. Whenever we mention about doing the meditation, ground yourself and commit to reconnect with the divine within you, that is going to give you all you need, because it's going to be solid. It's going to be sustainable. And just like you say, we're not going to be in a roller coaster, because that roller coaster, it's really getting you out of your core, because your core, it's peaceful, your core, it's sustainable, it's solid. And even we are having like the hurricane passing by, you can see the tree, it's staying there. It's going to bounce, but it's not getting anywhere, because the foundation, it's solid. And it's really, Nathan, and I agree with you, it's just accept what it is. But you are not that illusion, you are not your suffering, but how can I make my day better, accepting and working through, and really just it's temporary, the sadness, the anger, and why and how this is being serving me, and how can I shift that and really get that spectrum, because it's an energy, right? The same that spectrum that contain anger contain joy. We are just in that spectrum, and as much as we get awareness of that spectrum and accepting, we make better choices through the consciousness and awareness, that which is the self-awareness of the being. And we make a choice. Okay, I am acknowledge the anger, I'm observing the anger with in me, but I am not that. It's just dissociated, that anger, because it's just the energy that you're observing. And then I'm choosing to be on the joy and the part of the spectrum of the joy and the peace. And you can control your reality. You can control the response to the external world. That's why we become so empowered whenever we are committed with the process, and we are just consistent with the practice of meditation. And now I would like to ask you, many people think that meditate is so hard. Oh, I need just to put myself sitting over there and and everything's gonna be beautiful, right? I found for me, meditation can come in the different ways. It is really the way that I am allowing myself to get connected, to stay in that flow of connection. But I would like to ask you how you advise people that have that struggling meditating, right?
Yeah, the best way is to follow Patanjali's advice, the Yoga Sutras, the 8 limbs of yoga. And the first is the yamas, then the niyamas, and then asanas, pratyahara, and dharana, dhyana, and samadhi, right? So it's the 8 limbs of yoga. Dhyana is meditation, and meditation is actually getting to that state of when you're focused so intently on an object in the mind, you start to flow. This pure awareness begins to flow, and that's how Patanjali describes it. And the way that we can get into a meditative state so much easier. Yes, you can go to and listen to guided meditations, and those are wonderful, and they can take you into that deeper state. That's why I do meditations on, my YouTube channel for free for people. It can take people into that deeper state of meditation. With practice, you get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. The key is to start, and to start with the meditation practice. I love Sahaj Samadhi meditation. It's a mantra-based meditation. But following the 8 limbs of yoga will take you. The goal of meditation is not meditation. The goal of meditation is samadhi. Samadhi is that infinite, blissful, pure awareness, expansion of nothingness into the infinite bliss of the divine. That's samadhi. And so anyone who's ever experienced samadhi knows what that feels like. And it is a very blissful feeling, we'll just say that. And meditation, with enough practice of meditation, you eventually go into samadhi. But it took me many, many, many years of practice. And how do we get into that state much deeper? The Yoga Sutras. We have to practice the yamas and the niyamas. And we don't have time to talk about all that right now. But basically, these are philosophies for living a good life. We'll just say that. Truthfulness, honesty, and integrity, and non-stealing, non-violence, ahimsa, devotion to the divine, all these different ways of living, these kind of precepts for living a good quality of life, if you will. And then the asanas are, we're taking care of the body, we're moving the energy systems in the body, but we're also settling down the body, right? We think of yoga in the West as just stretching, but yoga from India is not just stretching at all. The asanas, the stretching has so much deeper purpose and meaning than just stretching the body or trying to look good or whatever, fit into your bikini or whatever people use yoga for today, to look good in tight pants or something. It's not that at all, actually. And it is to balance the energies in the body and then settle down, so that then we can go inside, withdrawing our senses, pratyahara, withdraw the senses internally, and in breath work. So pranayama. So pranayama, then pratyahara. So we do the asanas, then we do pranayama. So then we do breath work, sky breath, sudarshan kriya, these kinds of things. And that takes you into that deeper state, withdrawing the senses, and then a concentrated focus. You have a concentration, internal concentration, and then you enter into meditation and eventually samadhi. So it sounds very complicated, but it's actually not at all. It's very simple. All you do is learn something like Sahaj Samadhi, you can take an online course or learn something, even Vipassana, breath-based meditation, or go to my free YouTube channel and just listen to guided meditations, or just learn sky breath, Sudarshan Kriya, learn the breathing technique, because it takes you into a deep state of meditation very quickly. And the most important thing is start today and start a daily practice and be consistent with it. Be consistent with it and see how it shapes your life for the better. It absolutely will. It's our divine nature. It's our nature. Meditation is our nature. And it's not about, oh, I can't meditate because I can't turn off my thoughts. You can't turn off your thoughts. That's why you have to meditate. You absolutely need, you have ADHD, you have ADD, you can't concentrate, you can't focus, your thoughts going all the time. Then you absolutely need to meditate, because it will help you more than anything can help you. And that's the whole purpose.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that. Yeah, I prefer my just silence my mind. That's it. Because I have tried guided meditation, and I do guided meditation for my clients as well, and my audience. But I choose just to silence my thoughts and just to be in that state of blissfulness. It's really like,
yeah, most 99% of people can't silence their thoughts. And so when you sit for meditation, don't think I'm going to silence my thoughts, and then they don't silence their thoughts, and so they think they're unsuccessful. Actually, in fact, sitting for meditation and, just as you were talking about earlier, kind of disassociating with your thoughts. So you observe your thoughts coming back. Oh, there's that thought again. I see you. Okay, let it go. Oh, there's that. I'll come back to my breath. Come back to some point of focus. It can be a mantra that you learn through Sahaj. It can be your breath. It can be a number of different things. There is dharanas that you can have, a point of focus, a concentration, but then coming back. You observe the thoughts as they come, and then you come back. You observe the thoughts, and you just watch them go by. And because it takes a lot of practice to get to a point to where you can get to that thoughtless state. And you get tremendous, and you don't have to get thoughtless state to get benefit. This is the thing. They actually measured scientifically the brains of people who are practicing meditation and those who are not. And the ones who are practicing meditation, even when they're having thoughts every few seconds, their brains showed significantly healthier and younger and smarter and better in every way, even when they were practicing meditation with thoughts coming every 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, than the person who's not practicing meditation. So it's not about completely stopping the thoughts. It's just about the act of quieting the mind, closing the eyes, going inside, and becoming aware of what's going on inside. That simple act alone is transformational. It's revolutionary.
yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And Nathan, as we are coming to the end of this session, I would like to say thank you so much to sharing all of your wisdom, and to really give our listeners this motivation, this inspired sharing. And if you couldn't just say in a phrase or in a word, for the entire humanity, like let's say we're going to have a message worldwide, what would be that message from Nathan Crane?
Meditate, meditate, meditate. If you want to change the world, you want to change your life, you want to be happier, healthier, you want to see a more peaceful planet, you want to dive deeper into your own personal purpose and spiritual purpose, meditation is the key, is the answer. One of the best tools to get us into meditation, as I mentioned, sky breath, Sudarshan Kriya, whatever it is, just start meditating every day, and this whole world will become such a better place.
Beautiful, beautiful. And we would like just to share Nathan links, and it's going to be in the description. So if you would like to connect with him, please go ahead and just check him his links on the bio, and we'll be more than glad to share all of this beauty with the world. So thank you so much, Nathan, for being here once and again with us. We really appreciate you being serving all of us today. Thank you.
My pleasure, my honor. Thank you for doing this.